Hey everyone, it's Alan Schimmel of DevOps.com's DevOps TV here at IBM InterConnect. And we are here with Justin Collier of SmartBear. And Justin is the product owner of Collaborator.
That's right.
Justin, welcome. Nice
Thanks
to
so
have
much.
you here,
Yeah,
man.
appreciate it.
So we had a little chat before we went live on camera.
Yeah.
And, Collaborator is just recently a new tool here, right? Just since about 2000.
Yeah. Just getting started.
Getting started. But what was interesting is I didn't know that SmartBear was actually Collaborator before it was SmartBear.
Yeah.
Why don't you share that story with our listeners?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. SmartBear got its start in Austin, Texas. It was this Collaborator tool. And then we went through an acquisition, and the acquisition happened just before I got started there.
Okay.
So we went through an acquisition, and it was a scenario where they were trying to figure out, what do we name this company? Does it make sense to keep the SmartBear brand or whatever? And they said, yeah. So they kept the SmartBear brand, and ended up building it out in Boston, Massachusetts, which is where we're headquartered now, actually in Somerville.
Okay.
And
sure.
And we've just kind of grown a bunch of different tools now outside of the Collaborator suite.
Excellent.
Yeah, so it's great.
So Justin, let's just assume for a moment that someone watching this right now isn't familiar with Collaborator.
Yeah.
How would you describe it to them?
Yeah, it's a peer code and document review tool. Like, that's the simplest way to put it. It's peer code and document review.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really, I would say, an enhanced review process.
Okay.
Right? I think the market's kind of changed over the last couple of years. It started off as tools focused on solving a problem of doing peer code and document review,
right,
or just code review maybe.
Okay.
And then you ended up with a scenario where people are starting to build that in as a feature to other tool sets.
Right.
So for us, we're still a tool dedicated and focused on doing peer code and document review. So it's really an enhanced process.
Yep. So this to me is not a conundrum, but it's a constant push and pull that we see in technology vendors. Is your product a feature of some superset,
right?
Or there's no way you can make it just a feature in a superset, because then you're going to have a bastardized, watered down version of it that really doesn't give you the full functionality you need. And so, I think that's always the yin and yang that people are dealing with. Do I buy one of these Uber suites, right, that has 80% of the functionality for 20% of the price?
Yeah.
There's a certain large cloud hosting provider that's good for that.
Sure.
Right? They'll give you tools that are really cheap and give you about 80% or 60% of the functionality,
right,
for a fraction. Or do you go out and say, I really need what the real special sauce is, what the killer feature is, and I'm willing to pay for it and have that dedicated tool for it.
Exactly.
So I'm putting you on the spot now, man. What is that killer feature? What are those killer features? Why must you want to use Collaborator rather than just getting whatever comes in the suites that you see out there?
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think it's because you really care about software quality. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and what I mean by that is not that a company that wouldn't use Collaborator doesn't care about quality, but there's other organizations that really care about it for one reason or another. Maybe it's because they're in a regulated industry, and so quality really matters because they're doing safety critical stuff. I don't know, you're building an ejection seat for an aircraft. It's like, that's got to work. When that pilot grabs that thing, he'd better pop out of that.
Yeah. Well, he's not going to complain much after if it doesn't work.
Right, yeah, that's true. So we want to make sure it's right? So that's safety critical quality. But then you also have other organizations that are building games. And you only get one chance to make a great first impression.
Sure.
With a game, they want to roll it out, it's got to be good. Embedded software works that way. Versus other things where you can easily, quickly change the code, run out a new, CI/CD kind of stuff, right? You may not need the same level of peer review that Collaborator would offer. So I would say that that's where it starts, is you really care about quality for one reason or another. And then just from a feature standpoint, getting back to your original questions, we do peer code and document review. So there's not really a lot of other options out there. You're trying to do both. Maybe you want to review some requirements or design docs. You can do that inside a Collaborator. And then we have customizable workflows. So if you need one tool for multiple teams, but those teams don't operate in the same way, maybe because one team uses Git, another team uses Rational Team Concert.
Right.
What do we do in that scenario? Well, you could use Collaborator, have that one peer code and document review tool, but you can integrate in with these different SCMs and have these unique workflows.
Sure.
Support that.
So like we said in the, getting started with it, it's really that singular focus on doing a job and doing it right.
Yeah.
Rather than, hey man, this is my Swiss Army knife and here's one of my extensions.
Yeah.
Right? So I think we spoke earlier. You said there's about 1,200 active customers for this.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And what's coming down the pike, new feature-wise? What do you get coming up?
Yeah, so we just released Collaborator 11.0.
Okay.
So that just came out. Great release. We actually built integrations with GitHub, Bitbucket, and GitLab. So interesting, why would you do that, right? Those tools offer peer review built into them.
Version control.
Yeah, right? Yeah. But those are, again, the repository management solutions with a peer review feature. And like I said, a lot of our customers, let's face it, Git is taking over the world. It's a lot of
We just had the Git guy in here. There's 20 million pages.
Yeah, I mean, it's just amazing. So, but there's a lot of customers, a lot of organizations that need that more in-depth review process. Again, because quality really matters.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. Again, audits, regulatory compliance,
So with this
whatever.
integration, then someone could use Git for their repo.
Absolutely.
They could even maybe use some of the Git review features, but they could dive deeper using Collaborator.
Yeah, absolutely.
And still not have to throw away their investment or their time in Git.
That's correct.
Smart.
Yeah, I mean, and we personally use Git on our team, on the Collaborator team. We use Git. We happen to use GitHub as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great, but we, obviously we want to use our own product for review.
Yep.
And so we just, every time we do a pull request, it does a Collaborator review. And it's a great capability that takes that peer review deeper. So we can review things like requirements and design docs, and then we can have a specialized workflow that ensures the reviews are actually taking place.
Sure, man.
So
absolutely. So, big things, like big mega trends we see here at InterConnect. DevOps, cloud native, automation, cognizant.
Yeah.
How are these playing into what you guys are doing?
Yeah, so for us in the Collaborator tool, specifically we have integrations with Rational Team Concert as well. So I mentioned, it's 11 different SCMs that we support, and we have this great integration into Rational Team Concert. So as people are going through this development life cycle inside of there, and they've got their work items and they're, building change sets and packages, they can make sure that reviews are taking place as part of that process.
Yeah, excellent, man. Yeah. Very cool. Well, listen, I want to thank you for stopping by, Justin. This is a great, you know what, I didn't ask. If people are interested, where do they find out more about Collaborator?
Yeah, smartbear.com.
Just go to smartbear.com and click through
and you go right to the product section there, and you can pull up some info on Collaborator. Yeah.
Cool, man. Hey, it's a pleasure having you on.
Nice to have.
All right.
Yeah, so great to be here.
That's Justin Collier, SmartBear, about Collaborator. You can find out more at smartbear.com. But until then, anyway, from now till then, this is Alan Schimmel from DevOps.com for DevOps TV here at IBM InterConnect 2017.